Chapter 2. The First Claim. The world narrowed to a single, searing point of contact. Suspended on the edge of oblivion, Chloe was a prisoner to the exquisite torment only Liam could inflict. Her mind, foggy with sleep just moments before, was now sharp with a pleasure so intense it bordered on agony. She was aware of everything: the rough texture of his jaw against her inner thigh, the controlling grip of his hands on her hips, the cool morning air on her fevered skin. His name was a broken prayer on her lips, a plea and a command all in one. "Liam, please." A low, possessive growl was his only answer. He held her there, suspended in that breathless, trembling moment, forcing her to acknowledge his absolute power over her. It was a game they both understood, a cornerstone of their passion. He wasn't just giving her pleasure, he was branding her with it, marking his territory after days away. Then, with a final, decisive surge, he sent her over the edge. Her world shattered. A cry was torn from her throat as ecstasy, violent and consuming, ripped through her. Her back arched off the bed, her fingers digging into the expensive sheets as wave after wave of release crashed through her system. It was not a gentle unfolding, but a complete, soul-shaking detonation, a claiming. He drank her cries, consuming her climax as completely as he had consumed her. As the last tremor faded, leaving her boneless and gasping, he finally released her. She fell back against the mattress, her body humming with the aftershocks. The dawn had broken while she was lost to him, casting long fingers of pale gold light across the room, illuminating the dust motes dancing in the air. But the worship wasn't enough for him. She could feel it in the air, in the unabated intensity radiating from him. The hunger in his eyes hadn't been sated, it had only been sharpened. He rose from the floor, a titan emerging from the shadows, his powerful body silhouetted against the window. His gaze was a physical weight, pinning her to the bed. He moved over her, his knees settling on either side of her hips, caging her in. The cool air was gone, replaced by the furnace-like heat of his body. "That," he rasped, his voice thick and guttural as he lowered his face close to hers, "was my welcome home." "You were gone too long," she breathed, her hands coming up to tangle in his dark hair, pulling him closer. "Never again," he vowed, his lips brushing against hers, a promise and a threat. But he didn't kiss her, not yet. His piercing blue eyes scanned her face, then roamed down her body, taking in the flush of her skin, the swell of her breasts, the gentle curve of her stomach. His thumb traced one of the silvery stretch marks on her hip, the same one he had kissed in her sleep. "Mine." The word was a growl, a statement of fact as immutable as gravity. "Only ever yours," she whispered, her own desire surging back, a deep, primal need to feel him inside her, to complete the circuit. "But Lem, I need." He understood before she finished. The raw need for possession was a shared language between them. This next part wasn't about worship, it was about collision. A fierce, passionate battle to re-establish the bond that distance had strained. It was dominance and surrender, a dance they had perfected over years. He captured her mouth in a kiss that was nothing like the reverent worship from before. It was bruising, demanding, a clash of teeth and tongue. He tasted of power, of want, and of the faint, lingering flavor of her own release. She met his ferocity with her own, her nails scraping lightly down his powerful back, urging him on. With a groan that was torn from the depths of his soul, he thrust forward, filling her in a single, powerful stroke. Chloe cried out, her head thrown back against the pillows. The feeling of him, thick and hot and impossibly deep, was the final piece of the puzzle clicking into place. She was home. He was home. Their rhythm was frantic, a desperate attempt to erase the memory of empty nights and silent rooms. It was a battle. He moved with a punishing territorial force, his hips slamming against hers, each thrust a declaration: "You are mine. This body is mine. This pleasure is mine to give." And she surrendered to it, reveled in it. She wrapped her legs around his waist, pulling him deeper, meeting his every powerful thrust with an eager arch of her hips, her movements screaming, "Yes, I am yours. Take me, claim me." "Tell me," he commanded, his voice strained as he drove them both toward the edge. "Tell me no one else gets to have this." It was one of their rules, a verbal anchor in the wild seas of their lifestyle. A confirmation that this core, this raw and primal connection, was sacrosanct. No one, she gasped, her body coiling tight around him. This is only for you, always. The confirmation was all he needed. With a final, guttural roar that mingled with her own soaring cry, he found his release deep within her. Their shared climax was a supernova, white-hot and blinding, leaving them fused together, tangled and slick with sweat, their ragged breaths the only sound in the scent-drenched room. For a long time they lay just like that. Liam didn't pull away, staying buried inside her, his heavy weight a comforting anchor. He nuzzled her neck, his breathing slowly evening out. The frenetic energy had bled away, replaced by a profound, languid peace. The city outside could fall, his empire could crumble, and it wouldn't matter as long as he was here with her. I hate leaving you, he murmured into her skin, his voice now soft with a vulnerability he showed to no one else. Then don't, she sighed contentedly, her fingers idly tracing the corded muscles at his shoulders. Just buy the whole world from here. He chuckled, a low, rumbling sound that vibrated through her. I'm considering it. The moment was perfect. The sanctity of their private world had been restored, fortified by passion and possession. They were Liam and Chloe, invincible and entwined. Then a sharp electronic buzz cut through the tranquility. It came from the nightstand on her side of the bed, Chloe's phone. The sound was an unwelcome intrusion, a digital invader in their sacred space. Liam tensed, a flicker of his earlier possessiveness returning. Ignore it. It might be the school, she reasoned, though her voice was lazy with satisfaction. With a soft groan, she disentangled one arm and reached for the device. The screen lit up her face. Liam, still draped over her, propped himself up on an elbow to glance at the screen, his curiosity piqued despite himself. His expression hardened instantly. The peace of the morning shattered like glass. It wasn't the school. The message preview was stark against the glowing screen. From a contact named The Asters, and beneath the name, a few words that hung in the air like a dangerous, seductive poison. An invitation to sin tonight, you in?